Number 1. Lennis Escobar, the girl who lured four to their deaths. In 2017, a quiet community on Long Island was shattered by one of the most brutal crimes in MS-13's recent history, when four teenage boys were savagely murdered in a park. At the center of the ambush was not a hardened enforcer, but a 17-year-old girl named Lydia Escobar, who would become known by a chilling nickname, La Diablita, the Little Devil. On the surface, Lydia seemed like an average teenager, active on social media and living a normal life. But beneath that facade, she was deeply involved with the MS-13 gang, using her online posts to signal her loyalty with coded gang slang. Her digital loyalty turned into a deadly real-world trap on the night of April 11th. Escobar and her MS-13 boyfriend lured five boys to a wooded area under the simple pretense of hanging out and smoking. As the unsuspecting victims arrived, hidden gang members emerged from the trees, armed with machetes and clubs. In a frenzied attack, four of the five boys were killed. While Lennis did not wield a weapon herself, her crucial role was to set the trap, using their trust to lead them directly to the slaughter. After the murders, investigators quickly uncovered her digital footprint, which included messages planning the attack and social media posts with coded boasts about the killings. At her trial, prosecutors proved she was a calculating participant, not a coerced child. In a powerful ruling, the judge sentenced her to 50 years in prison, stating her actions reflected cold-hearted planning, not youthful impulse. Lennis Escobar's case remains a terrifying reminder that the face of modern gang violence can be deceptively ordinary, proving that evil can wear the disguise of a regular teenage girl with a phone in her hand and a deadly plan in her mind. Number 2. Karla Jackelin Morales, the bait in a Houston ambush. In June 2018, a young man was found murdered in a remote Houston field, his body bearing the horrific signs of a gang execution. What made this case different was the orchestrator, 21-year-old Karla Jackelin Morales, a woman with no prior criminal record who used friendship as a deadly weapon. The victim, Jose Alonso Villanueva, knew Morales, a familiarity she exploited with cold calculation. She reached out and invited him to a secluded location, promising a casual hangout, but she was secretly setting a trap for MS-13 members who were waiting nearby. Morales was no bystander. She was a key planner. She had connections to a local MS-13 clique that had marked Villanueva for death over alleged disrespect. Her role was to be the bait, ensuring he would be in the exact spot where the ambush could take place. When Villanueva arrived, MS-13 members emerged, attacking him with a machete and shooting him multiple times in a swift, brutal assault. Morales then vanished, becoming a fugitive on the FBI's most wanted list before her eventual arrest. Evidence against her was overwhelming, including phone records and surveillance showing her coordination before and after the murder. At her trial, the defense claimed she was manipulated, but the proof showed a willing participant. The judge sentenced her to 30 years, stating, "You may not have held the weapon, but you put the victim exactly where the killers wanted him." Karla Morales' case shattered the stereotype of a gang associate, proving that the most dangerous betrayals can come from a familiar, unsuspecting face. Number 3. Lydia Delcarmen-Rodriguez, the betrayal of a 15-year-old. In a chilling 2019 case from Central Islip, New York, a 15-year-old boy was brutally murdered for the unforgivable sin in the MS-13 world, wanting to leave the gang. At the heart of this betrayal was Lydia Delcarmen-Rodriguez, a young woman who prosecutors say played an essential role in planning the execution. The victim, whose identity remains protected, believed he was meeting Lydia simply to hang out, completely unaware she was orchestrating a deadly ambush on behalf of the Leeward Locos Salvatrucas clique. Lydia's involvement was methodical and cold. She used her connection with the boy to arrange a meeting in a wooded area, a location she knew would provide the perfect cover for violence. When the teenager arrived, several MS-13 members emerged from hiding, beating and stabbing him to death in a ferocious attack meant to send a message to anyone else considering leaving the gang. While Lydia didn't physically carry out the killing, Her actions as the lure were just as critical to its success. Authorities built their case through phone records, text messages, and witness testimony that detailed her coordination with the gang members. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Lydia eventually pleaded guilty to racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder in federal court. The judge emphasized that her role in facilitating the murder made her just as responsible, stating, "You may not have held the knife, but without your help this crime may never have happened." Lydia's story is a stark lesson in how gangs weaponize trust, using seemingly ordinary individuals to enable unspeakable violence. Number 4. Silvia Bonilla-De Jandres, the extortion accountant. In the summer of 2022, a quiet woman living in Northern Virginia was arrested by ICE agents, revealing a hidden life of international crime. Silvia Bonilla-De Jandres appeared to be an ordinary immigrant, but authorities uncovered she was actually a wanted fugitive from El Salvador, charged with serious crimes for her role in MS-13’s financial machinery. While the gang is known for brutal violence, Silvia operated in the shadows, specializing in the critical business of extortion. Her alleged role was not on the streets, but behind the scenes, managing the gang's extortion rackets. She was accused of coordinating threats, organizing payment schedules, and ensuring money flowed from terrified local businesses and residents back to the gang's leadership. This systematic war tax collection fueled MS-13's operations and instilled fear in communities throughout El Salvador. Silvia had quietly built a new life in the U.S., but her past caught up with her when a routine immigration check flagged an Interpol notice. After her arrest, she was extradited to El Salvador to face trial for her alleged crimes. Her case highlights a less visible but equally vital side of organized crime: the facilitators who manage the money. While enforcers wield machetes, operatives like Silvia wield ledgers and phones, proving that the gang's reach extends far beyond physical violence into calculated financial exploitation that crosses international borders. Number 5. The unnamed smuggler, a fugitive at the border. In early 2023, a routine Border Patrol operation in the Rio Grande Valley near McAllen, Texas, uncovered a far more dangerous threat than typical migrants. Among a group of individuals caught crossing illegally was a woman whose fingerprints triggered alarms in federal databases. She was a Salvadoran national with a hidden criminal past in the United States and confirmed ties to MS-13. This wasn't her first time being caught. She had previously been deported after a conviction for embezzlement in Virginia dating back to 2008. Authorities revealed that her prior conviction was not a simple financial crime, but was believed to be connected to her role in laundering money for the gang's operations. Her return to the border signaled she was likely on an active mission for MS-13, possibly to re-establish connections, coordinate smuggling routes, or facilitate other criminal activities for the gang along the southern border. Despite having no visible tattoos or a violent demeanor, her profile as a low-profile facilitator made her a high-priority arrest. She was taken into ICE custody to face immigration violations and potential new criminal charges for reentry after deportation. This case underscores a critical trend. MS-13 relies not only on violent enforcers, but also on seemingly ordinary individuals who can move undetected across borders to maintain the gang's logistical and financial networks, proving that the most dangerous operatives are often the ones you'd never suspect. Number 6. Flaca, the girl who escaped MS-13. In the brutal world of MS-13, leaving the gang is often a death sentence, which makes the story of Flaca so extraordinary. Her real name remains secret for her safety, but in the streets of El Salvador, she was known as a young woman who had been fully absorbed into the gang's culture. Recruited as a teenager into a local clique, she was promised protection and a sense of family. But the reality was a life of control, abuse, and being treated as property by the male members. For years, Flaca endured this existence, but the constant fear and violence eventually became too much. In a brave and desperate move, she decided to walk away, knowing the gang would see it as a betrayal punishable by death. Her escape was not a dramatic flight, but a quiet turn to a local church, one of the few sanctuaries willing to help former gang members. There, she found shelter, spiritual support, and a new identity, beginning the painful process of rebuilding her life. Though she survived, the psychological scars run deep, and she lives with the permanent fear of being recognized. Her story, shared anonymously with investigators, provides a rare glimpse into the oppressive reality for women inside MS-13. Flocka's journey stands as a powerful testament to the courage it takes to break free and serves as a haunting reminder of the many who are still trapped, unable to find a way out. Number 7. Karla Gomez, the silent partner in the Long Island murders. While Lennis Escobar became the public face of the 2017 Long Island quadruple murder, another woman was working behind the scenes. Karla Gomez, then 23, played a critical but less visible role in the same horrific crime that shocked the nation. Operating in the shadows, Gomez helped coordinate the deadly trap that lured 5 teenage boys to a wooded park where 4 would be brutally ambushed and killed by MS-13 members armed with machetes and clubs. Gomez's involvement was strategic and calculated. She used text messages and social media to help arrange the meeting, ensuring the victims would be at the right place at the exact time for the ambush. While Escobar physically accompanied the boys to the site, Gomez monitored their movements from a distance, confirming their arrival and coordinating with the hidden attackers. Her digital footprint provided crucial evidence, painting a picture of a willing participant who understood the deadly consequences of her actions. Initially avoiding the spotlight, Gomez was eventually identified and arrested. Faced with overwhelming evidence and the possibility of a life sentence, she made a pivotal decision to cooperate with prosecutors. Her testimony became instrumental in convicting Escobar and several other MS-13 members involved in the murders. While her cooperation secured a reduced sentence, it could never erase her role in a crime that forever scarred a community, proving that in the world of MS-13, those who plan in the shadows bear as much guilt as those who wield the weapons. Number 8. The Black Widows, when marriage is a death sentence. In a shocking deviation from MS-13's typical street violence, a specialized cell of women operating in El Salvador known as Las Viudas Negras, the Black Widows, perfected a chilling form of betrayal. This clique did not engage in open turf wars. Instead, they weaponized marriage and intimacy for financial gain and gang prestige. Their method was coldly calculated: befriend, marry, and then orchestrate the murder of their unsuspecting husbands. These women would target often older or isolated men, building relationships and legally marrying them to gain access to their assets, property, and government benefits. Once the legal ties were secured and the finances were within reach, they would coordinate with MS-13 hitmen to have their new husbands abducted and executed. The crimes were meticulously planned to leave little direct evidence, using their status as grieving widows as a perfect disguise. Authorities linked the group to at least 6 murders, though the true number was likely higher. A joint investigation eventually led to multiple arrests in 2017. The trial revealed a deeply sinister operation that challenged all assumptions about gender roles in organized crime. These women were not passive associates. They were masterminds of a ruthless financial scheme. Their convictions sent a powerful message that MS-13's evil could wear many faces, proving that sometimes the most dangerous weapon is not a machete, but a vow of love used as a death warrant. Number 9. The Interpol fugitive, hiding in plain sight in Maine. In the spring of 2021, the quiet town of Presque Isle, Maine, became the unlikely setting for a major international arrest. What began as a routine immigration check by Border Patrol agents uncovered a woman living under a false identity. She was a Salvadoran national wanted by Interpol for a shocking crime: aggravated murder linked directly to her role in MS-13. She had successfully built a low-profile life in the rural community, far from the gang's typical urban centers. According to authorities in El Salvador, The woman had participated in the targeted killing of a young man who had allegedly disrespected the gang. The victim was abducted, tortured, and executed in a classic MS-13 message killing. After the murder, she vanished, using smuggling routes to travel through Mexico and cross the U.S. border undetected. For years, she lived quietly, taking low-key jobs and blending seamlessly into a community where no one suspected her violent past. Her arrest triggered an emergency extradition request. She was swiftly sent back to El Salvador to stand trial for murder and gang affiliation. This case exposed the silent mobility of MS-13's operatives, demonstrating how the gang's members, especially women who often draw less suspicion, can hide in the last places anyone would look, proving that transnational crime can reach even the most peaceful American towns. Number 10. The Virginia Embezzler, a gang facilitator returns. In the spring of 2023, a seemingly ordinary woman was apprehended by Border Patrol agents near McAllen, Texas, as part of a group attempting to cross the border illegally. However, a fingerprint check revealed a far more dangerous identity. She was a Salvadoran national with a significant criminal history in the United States, including a conviction for embezzlement in Virginia dating back to 2008 and confirmed ties to MS-13. This was not her first encounter with U.S. authorities. She had been deported years prior. Her previous conviction for embezzlement was now viewed by investigators as part of a pattern of financial crimes committed to support the gang's operations, likely involving money laundering. Her deliberate return signaled she was still an active facilitator for the criminal organization, possibly tasked with re-establishing logistical or financial networks. Taken into ICE custody, she faced serious immigration violations and potential new federal charges. Her case underscores a critical, often overlooked aspect of MS-13's strength: its reliance on low-profile operatives. These individuals, particularly women who can easily blend in, are essential for the gang's cross-border criminal infrastructure, proving that the most effective threats are often the ones you never see coming.